This kid outplayed pros for millions.
This kid made poker history. This is Peter Eastgate, a 22-year-old kid from Denmark who showed up at the World Series of Poker with nothing but a dream and ice in his veins.
I love watching pro poker. It seems stupid to watch other people gamble, but when they're playing for millions of dollars and they're so casual, like these are guys that aren't billionaires, right? They might make pretty good money, but they're like pro poker players that are just banking on this win. Ice cold, dude. That's Iceman. No worry. You're 22. You're playing for a $10 million pot, and you're just like, you get a 2-7, unsuited, worst hand in poker. On no problem. You're just like, raise. I would immediately fold. I would immediately fold. I would be too scared. And then, you know, on pocket aces, when I get a good hand, I'm going to be like, I'm going to be obviously happy. I wouldn't be able to keep that in.
He was known as the Iceman, not because he was cool under pressure, but because he showed absolutely no emotion. Zero. None. Even when millions of dollars were on the line. And in an interview just before the WSOP, Eastgate even described himself as a very unproductive and lazy guy. Well, that so-called lazy...
Do you think the best strategy for poker is showing no emotion or being overly emotional about everything? Because showing no emotion is really good because they can't get any read on you. And I think that might be the best strategy because if you show emotion, yeah, the average person's probably going to get a worse read than you than if you showed nothing. But if they're a good poker player, they're going to be able to see through you and know if you're lying, whereas you can't be lying or telling the truth if you actually just show nothing and just evaluate the situation. Because then they're guessing off of your bets rather than you. And that's a big thing in poker is understanding the person you're playing against. And if they can't do that, they're fucked.
Guy made poker history. I'm here to show you that he didn't just outplay the pros, he absolutely destroyed them. Let's get into it. Nearly 7,000 players risked $10,000 each at the 2008 World Series of Poker main event, battling for a $9.1 million prize and a chance to be first.
There's only one guy win it. There's 7,000 people that have to put 10K in, and only one guy gets anything? There's no way. There has to be like a guaranteed pool. I'm not entering a $10,000 poker tournament with 7,000 other people going, yeah, there's probably a chance I fucking win this.
Forever remembered on the game's biggest...
Wait, how much was the fucking grand prize?
Battling for a $9.1 million prize.
$9.1 million? Dude, you could retire one tourney win. You win this one fucking game and you're out.
And a chance to be forever remembered on the game's biggest stage. But at the final table, only 9 of the original 7,000 remained. In this first crucial hand, our boy found himself up against Chino Ream, a seasoned pro with over $1 million in career earnings and a reputation for fearless play. But Ream entered the play as the short stack, and the blinds were eating him alive. With a dangerously short stack, Ream was in survival mode. In poker, when you're stacked...
Bro, this shit looks so fun, though, no? Maybe it's just me, because I love gambling. Being in a round table, you're the last 9 in a 7,000 player tourney. I'd feel like I'm in Squid Games. I'd be like, so we're the best of the best. Look where we've made it. All of us had one table. Who's going to take it all?
Gets this low?
Just fucking sitting there. I'd be haggling. I'd be like, dude, I'll give you my chips. Give me half of the fucking money. Please.
You gotta make moves, and fast. Ream knew this, so when he looked down at Ace-King, one of the best starting hands in poker, he didn't hesitate. He shoved all in, putting his tournament life on the line. Eastgate, sitting with a comfortable stack, looked down at Ace-Queen. For most players, this is a relatively easy fold. Ace-Queen is a solid hand, but not a premium by any means. But
Yeah, this is where I suck at poker, because if I have an ace-queen, I'm playing that shit past the flop. I'm going, maybe an ace will pop out.
Gate knew Ream was...
I'll play to the 4th. I can't play poker at casinos because I feel bad taking other people's money versus the casino. I think this is different because these guys are pros. But if you go to, like, Atlantic City and I sit down at a poker table and there's some guy across from me going... Fuck! I'm gonna be like, sorry, man. Thanks for the fucking $500. And like, he can't pay rent next month. And I just took his money. Like, I'm gonna be, he might be bluffing. A lot of them are gambling addicts that are blowing off the money that they have, right? But yeah, some of them are bluffing, but to the point where they're acting out like that, I don't know. A lot of poker players do play chill, but like, dude, they'll crash out. Because, I mean, maybe it's different. I've watched poker play at casinos, but I've never sat down and like played. And, you know, most people play casually, but when I sit down at like base blackjack tables, dude, people get fucking so hammered they get belligerent with each other. And it's just like, it's different when you're playing against the dealer because you're winning casinos money that profits millions of dollars a year versus some random guy that put his last $1,000 in.
It's desperate. He called. The table fell silent as the 22-year-old slid his chips into the pot. Reem, confident in his ace-king, nodded approvingly. But the flop took everyone by surprise. Eastgate spiked his queen, pairing it and taking the lead. Reem, now in trouble, needed a king to win. The turn brought the 9 of diamonds. No help for Reem. The river, a 4 of hearts. Game over.
A 4 of hearts, and that's going to do it. Peter Eastgate wins the pot and knocks off Chino Reem in 7th place. And the Danes are thrilled.
All right, I don't know about getting around. I don't know about like spectating this though. I'll watch it on TV. I don't think I'm going to drive to a fucking poker tourney and sit in the crowds and be like, Ace King, he did it. He did it. Like, I'm not getting that hype. Now with darts, different story.
Reem's elimination sent shockwaves through the table. He was the last well-known.
Wait, he gets $1.7 million? Oh, I don't give 2 fucks if I'm out. What? Shit. I got $1.7 million. You know, I'm out. Okay. You're still fucking amazing, though.
Pro left, and his exit signaled that Eastgate wasn't just there to make up the numbers. This kid was here to win.
Bro, I'm locked in then. You could get no matter what place you get, your top 9, you get paid millions of dollars.
The next play came against Dennis Phillips, a trucking account manager turned poker sensation who was stealing the spotlight. With a legion of fans in red St. Louis Cardinals hats chanting his name, Dennis had been commanding the table for hours. His strategy? Unstoppable aggression. He raised, re-raised, and shoved with the confidence of a player who believed the cards would bend to his will. While Phillips huffed and puffed, the Iceman sat motionless, his face not showing any hint of emotion.
I feel like being 22 and beating a 55-year-old man that's played poker for longer than you've been alive is very satisfying. Like, this guy's been a pro poker player since before you were alive, and you just dog walk him. Like, that's aura. That's like, and you can't do that in athletics, because in athletics, you know, they're going to retire. But in poker, they've been playing since the fucking 80s, and your ass just strolls in and you fucking shit on them.
He wasn't just waiting for a hand, he was waiting for the hand. And then it came. Pocket aces. The best starting hand in poker. Most players would slam all their chips into the pot here, screaming all in. But Eastgate, he didn't even blink.
He looks like he's kind of nauseous all the time. I think that might be the strategy. He's just like you might throw up at any moment. You just have no idea what this guy's giving off.
Instead, he tossed in a 1.4 million raise, a modest bet designed to look weak. To Phillips, this was an invitation. Eastgate knew Phillips couldn't resist attacking a small raise, especially with his stack and ego ballooning. Sure enough, Phillips glanced at his cards, ace-jack suited, and pounced. He re-raised to 3.2 million, flexing his aggression like a heavyweight throwing a jab.
And I know it's not $3.5 million, it's chips, but this is just like so representative of an absurd amount of money. Like, and you're just casually like, yeah, I'll raise you like $500,000.
The 22-year-old didn't flinch. He flat called, masking the strength of his hand. The message to Phillips, I'm weak, come at me. The flop landed. Deuce, king, deuce. A dry, unremarkable hand that missed Phillips.
Little does he know I'm on the other side of the table with pocket twos. And I'm sitting there like, I've tripped twos. Or not tripped twos, I've quad twos. Best hand on the board right now. Almost nothing's going to beat me.
completely. No flush draws, no straight possibilities, just a
Yo, I would actually throw up at this table. If I had pocket twos and 2 twos came out, just on the fucking, I'm sorry. I start rubbing my chips. I'm sorry. No, give me a rag. I start fucking cleaning them up.
lone king staring back at him. Phillips checked, a rare moment of hesitation. Eastgate saw his opening. He bet $3 million, a small but careful stab at the pot. To Phillips, this smelled like a bluff. After all, why would a player with a strong hand bet so timidly? In Phillips's mind, Eastgate was trying to steal the pot with air. So Phillips did what Phillips does. He increased. He raised to $7 million, slamming his chips down with the confidence of a man holding a king. His goal? To bully Eastgate out of the pot. But Eastgate wasn't bluffing. He wasn't even sweating. He'd spent hours studying Phillips's play, the way he overvalued aggression, the way he mistook boldness for brilliance. This wasn't just a poker hand, it was a psychological chess match. Eastgate paused for a beat, then shoved all in. The room buzzed.
Isn't that why poker's considered a sport? Because, like, even on Twitch, you can play poker on stream, and it's not, like, gambling sites aren't allowed on Twitch, but poker is. Because poker's considered skilled gambling. Like, you can win. Poker is chance, but if you're really good at poker over a period of time, you will win money.
Phillips's face drained of color. His ace-jack was weak, and now he was staring down a bet that could badly hurt his stack. Finally, he folded. The crowd roared as the 22-year-old quietly stacked his chips, never revealing his aces. Behind him, his Danish fans started singing, which echoed through the theater.
That was the one table.
I'll say this, I prefer it to the tomahawk chop. Oh.
Okay, this is actually a strategy to have your friends pull up and just fucking hound the shit out of them during a poker game. You know how annoying that would be when you're trying to think? I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to think.
Oh, sounds pretty good.
And with that pot, Peter Eastgate does move to the top of the leaderboard.
Everyone at the table got the message. This kid wasn't just playing cards, he was playing the players. But the real showcase of Eastgate's skill came against Scott Montgomery in what would become one of the most dramatic hands of the tournament. Montgomery, a Canadian pro with a reputation for clawing his way back from the brink, was down to his last chips. He became desperate, and in poker, that can often lead to chaos. Eastgate, sitting comfortably with a mountain of chips, peeked at his cards. Pocket sixes. It wasn't a monster hand, but it was
All in. All in.
more than enough. Montgomery looked down at ace-3, a hand that's far from premium, but
2-7 unsuited. I think I'm going to play all of my chips now.
good enough to gamble with when your stack is on life support. With the blinds climbing and his tournament life hanging by a thread, Montgomery did what any short-stacked player would do. He shoved all in. Eastgate didn't hesitate. He slid his chips forward and the table braced for the showdown. The flop came, ace-4 queen. Montgomery's fans cheered loudly. He paired his ace, and Eastgate was now a huge underdog in this hand. The Canadian pro allowed himself a small smile. He was 2 cards away from doubling up and staying alive. But the Iceman didn't flinch. He
Double sixes.
wasn't out of the hand yet. The turn brought another ace, and
How does he win this fucking hand? He has trip aces. Even if he has trip sixes, he loses. No, he would have a full house. He would have a full house. If a 6 comes out, he'll have a full house. Because he'll have 3 sixes and 2 aces. He'll have 3 aces and nothing else. In a queen 6.
Montgomery's smile widened. He now had a set,
Wow, the 2% chance.
and Eastgate's chances of winning dwindled to a measly 2%. The crowd groaned. This looked like the end of the road for the young Dane. But poker is a cruel game.
What if he gets a 7? 6-7? Is that what you're saying, Bobbler?
Just when you think you've got it locked up, the river card can turn your world
He'd
upside
have nothing. That wouldn't help him at all. A 7 wouldn't be anything.
down. The dealer burned a card and slowly revealed the river. The room exploded.
Dude, at 2%, I would fucking flip the table. The $2,000 table. God damn it! Fuck! Stupid fucking game of poker. I walk out.
Eastgate supporters leaped to their feet. Montgomery, who had been moments away from doubling up, slumped back in his chair, his face a mask of disbelief. Even Eastgate, normally ice cold and emotionless, stood up from his seat to celebrate with his Danish supporters. The poker gods had blessed him, turning a near certain loss.
Wait, he got 5th place, $3 million. He can't be upset about that.
Celebrate with his Danish supporters. The poker gods had blessed him, turning a near certain loss into a miraculous win. Montgomery's dream of a WSOP title was over, and Eastgate's stack grew even larger.
Oh, this is 2008? Oh my God, that's way more money. That is way more money. 2008, $3 million. I mean, yeah, you're gonna get 1.5 back, but still.
Players fell one by one. Eastgate's stack kept growing, but it wasn't just luck. His reading ability was incredible. Another hand began with Demidov in the small blind, holding King 7 suited. It wasn't a powerhouse hand, but in heads-up or short-handed play, a suited king can be gold. Demidov, ever the opportunist, decided to limp in, a move that signaled caution but also masked his intentions. Eastgate, in the big blind, looked down at 3-2 offsuit, one of the worst possible starting hands. He checked his option, and the 2 went to the flop. The flop came 7-3-6. Demidov hit top pair with his 7, while Eastgate spiked bottom pair with his 3. On the surface, Demidov was ahead, but Eastgate wasn't out of the fight. He had a pair, and in poker, even a small pair can turn into a monster if the cards go your way. Demidov checked, an interesting move for a player with top pair. Was he setting a trap, or was he unsure of Eastgate's strength? Eastgate, ever the predator, smelled opportunity. He bet $850,000, a small but
How do you get this good at reading people, though? Like, I don't get that. Because I play poker, and I don't think I'm, like, bad. These guys, I wouldn't even make it to the fucking second round in these tournaments, dude. $10,000 tourneys, the 7,000 players would all beat me. You have to, I think it's just playing. You just have to get really good at, like, studying people. Do you think getting, like, psychology, like, degrees would help you? If you took, like, psychology courses, do you think that would help you get good at poker? Because you would learn how people, like, sociology degree, psychology degree, you learn how people function.
Demidov called, but the turn brought fireworks. Demidov now had a 2-pair, kings and 7s, and was a
How the fuck does Eastgate win this hand? If a 4 and a 5 come out.
19-1 favorite to win the hand. The crowd leaned in, sensing a pivotal moment. But instead of betting, Demidov checked again. This was a critical mistake. Eastgate, holding just
Yeah, because if he bet again, Eastgate would have folded.
a pair of 3s, checked back, buying himself a free river card that would change
Ooh, and he has trip 3s.
everything. Eastgate's bottom pair had turned into a set of 3s. Demidov, still holding 2-pair, bet half the pot, trying to extract value. But Eastgate wasn't just calling, he was planning. He paused. Then he raced to $5.5 million. Demidov appeared confident just moments ago, but now doubt crept in.
Doesn't talk much, but his chips never shut
Well, he has to know he has the 3. If I'm Demidov and I'm seeing 7-3-6 king 3, and I have a king pair, a king 7 pair, 2 pair, the only way I lose, because there's no full house on the board, he has a 3, and I'm fucked.
Demidov now trying to
I'm fucking folding if I'm him.
get a read on the 22-year-old. And at this stage of the championship, every bet, every decision so magnified.
Eastgate and Demidov have played a lot together at this main event, but Eastgate is one tricky.
I think being young in poker, too, is an advantage if you're good. Because you could study other players and, like, their quips and what makes that, like, how they play in previous tournaments. And they can't study Eastgate because he hasn't played a lot. Like, he's new. He's literally been playing poker for, like, what, a year, 2 years?
Character.
Is he bluffing? Demidov must have wondered. Or does he have 3s? The Russian pro agonized over the decision. After what felt like an eternity, Demidov folded. The crowd erupted.
Demidov at a critical moment against a strong opponent.
Okay, fault.
And he lays down kings up.
Great fold from the 27-year-old Russian.
So Peter Eastgate picks up a couple of million new chips and inches a bit closer to
Nah, and then this is where if it's a friend match, I go, show me your fucking cards. No, I'm not gonna show. But then you have the 3, you bitch. It would kill me. It would eat me alive if he doesn't show me his fucking cards. I fold, and he goes, slides the cards face down, bitch. Flipping them up.
Davidoff. But right now, the chip leader is indeed playing like a champion at this main event.
Because you just don't need a show. And you know how annoying that is? You're Dimitrov, whatever his name is. You fold, and you're like, I just fucking blew, equivalently like $2 million, $1 million right now. And I have no idea whether or not I was right or wrong.
Eastgate.
Why don't people show? Because then you learn from them. You don't. If you're Eastgate and you won that hand, you don't want to show him if you have 3s or not, because that leaves it up in the air on how you play. Because if I show him I have 3s, then he'll know for the next time that that's confidence play. So if you get them to fold, you want it to be kind of like Schrodinger's cat. Like it's either or. You could have been right, you could have been wrong.
Ever the Iceman quietly stacked his
It's not that deep. It is that deep. When you're playing for $10 million fucking dollars, I think it is that deep. Blugba.
chips. With the game getting more intense, Eastgate found himself heads up in a pot against Elon
This ain't no $20 friend match. You're playing for $10 million.
Schwartz, a strong opponent with a knack for survival. Eastgate looked down at pocket 5s, a modest hand by most standards, but in the hands of a player like Eastgate, even 5s could be deadly. He raised to $1.5 million, a standard opening bet designed to thin the field. Elon Schwartz peeked at his cards. Ace 10. It was a decent hand, but not one you typically go to war with. Schwartz hesitated. He didn't want to play this hand, but the small blind forced his hand. Reluctantly, he called. The flop came Deuce-King 8, a dry board that missed Schwartz completely. His Ace 10 was now ace high, and Eastgate's pocket 5s were still ahead. Schwartz checked, hoping to see a free card. Eastgate, ever the strategist, checked behind. This wasn't a passive move, it was a trap. Eastgate knew Schwartz was capable of bluffing, and by checking, he invited Schwartz to take a shot at the pot. But Schwartz, perhaps sensing danger, stayed quiet. The turn, another king. Now the board read Deuce-King 8 king. Eastgate's 5s were now 2 pair, kings and 5s, while Schwartz was still holding ace high. Schwartz checked again, and Eastgate pounced. He bet $1.7 million, a small but thoughtful wager designed to extract value. Schwartz, now in a tough spot, made the call. It was a reluctant decision.
Yeah, because you don't want to raise too much so they fold, but it'll match you to see the next card because he still has a 1 and 4.
The kind of move you make when you're hoping
Well, he doesn't know he has a 1 and 4, but he knows his odds are probably lower.
for a miracle on the river. The river, 5 of diamonds. Eastgate's 2-pair transformed into a full house, 5s full of kings. Schwartz, still holding ace high, checked. Eastgate didn't hesitate. He bet $4.6 million, a massive overbet that screamed strength. Schwartz, now hopeless, shoved all in. It was a bold move,
He went all in?
but also a reckless one. With ace high and
Yeah, that is stupid. I think he just knows there's it was reckless, but when you're in a situation where even if you get 4th in this tournament, you're still making like $5 million, I think you're just like, I don't care.
4 kings on the board, Schwartz was essentially bluffing into a monster.
I've gotten far enough.
Eastgate didn't even think too much. I call, he said, flipping over his full house. Schwartz's face fell as he mucked his cards. The crowd burst into cheers, but Eastgate showed less emotion, like it was just another day at the office.
Ball. Schwartz hates that.
Ace high.
And that's not nearly good enough. With a full house, Peter Eastgate sends Schwartz to the rail. 4th place and almost $3.8 million for Elon Schwartz.
If Eastgate doesn't hit the full house,
How do they have this much money for the winners? Because if 7,000 people buy in for 10K, what is that? Math. 70,000? 700,000. 7 million. 70 million? Is that 70 million? No, that's 70 million. $70 million is on the line. Because 7,000 people, that's 3 zeros plus 4 zeros. That's 7 zeros. $70 million. And sponsors. I don't even think sponsors need to pay for the prize pool. I think the top 9 guys are making less than 70 mil total.
Maybe that check raise all-in works. And when he had the chip lead, I had visions of Elon Schwartz winning and moving to Mars.
The 2008 World Series of Poker main event final table had whittled down to its last 3 players. Peter Eastgate, the icy Danish prodigy, Ivan Demidov, the Russian phenom fresh off a third-place finish at the World Series of Poker Europe main event, and Dennis Phillips, the lovable amateur from St. Louis who would become the crowd favorite. Over $9 million and the coveted World...
Oh, I love the idea of an amateur guy getting to the final stage. Just like a dude that works a union job. He's like a fucking plumber or something. He's like, he's just a big fan of poker. Scrounges up the money to go to this tournament, makes it to the fucking finale.
World Series of Poker bracelet were on the line, and the tension...
I think everybody roots for that type of underdog. Unless you're like somebody that just has a lot of clout in a sport, if you see a guy at the table that like obviously shouldn't be there, you're like, I want that guy to win.
In the Penn and Teller's Theater was obvious. Phillips, the oldest player left, had defied the odds to make it this far, but now he was the short stack, facing 2 young Goliaths with monster chip stacks. Eastgate and Demidov were locked in a battle of wits, each trying to outmaneuver the other while Phillips fought to stay alive. The action folded to Eastgate on the button, who looked down at pocket 3s. He raised to $1.5 million with the aim of stealing the blinds or building a pot if called. Phillips in the big blind glanced at his cards. 10-9 offsuit. It wasn't a premium hand, but Phillips was getting restless. He'd been folding for what felt like hours, and the blinds were eating away at his stack. He called, and the 2 players went heads up to the flop.
Well, that is also like, if he's folding for hours, he could just get unlucky on card hands for so long.
The flop came as...
But that's why they up the big and small blinds so the game can't go on forever.
Case 3s, meaning a set for Eastgate, and Phillips had completely missed the board. No pair, no draw, just 10 high. Eastgate, first to act, bet $1.5 million, the same amount as his pre-flop raise. It wasn't a huge bet, but it was enough to put pressure on Phillips. Most players would fold here, but Phillips was in a tough spot. Folding meant losing more of his shrinking stack, but calling meant committing chips with a hand that had almost no chance of improving. Phillips stared at the board, then at Eastgate. The young Dane sat motionless. Phillips knew Eastgate was capable of bluffing, but he also knew how dangerous it was to tangle with him. Eastgate is silent and lethal, the commentator said. And they were right. He barely spoke a word, but his chips did all the talking. Finally, Phillips made his move. "I'm all in," he declared, shoving his remaining chips into the pot.
With a fucking 4% chance of winning. I think you're at the point in the tournament where they've been here for like fucking 10 hours. And they're just like, I know I'm not going to win. I'm going to walk away with a certain amount of money. It doesn't matter. The only way this guy wins is if he gets a straight. He's a 10-9 jack.
Eastgate didn't hesitate. "Call," he said, flipping over his set of 3s. The crowd held its breath as the dealer prepared to reveal the turn and river.
Peter Eastgate is silent and lethal. And now the young whippersnapper staring down the old codger.
Phillips now.
It seems like an easy fold, but he's thinking about something.
I'm all in. I called.
Phillips all in and called. Wow.
You got a jack?
Oh, it's a lot worse than that.
Oh, I got to have runner to have anything.
Dennis Phillips may
Oh, shit.
event all but over. Fatigue may have been a factor. I think Elon Schwartz got
I think it was fatigue for sure. I think when you get near the end of these tourneys, they just don't care anymore.
fed up sitting around.
Final 3, dude. They've been here for so long. You know how many days of tourney play? Do you think they don't do this in one day, right? No. This has to be like a 3 or 4 day tournament. 7,000 players to the final 9.
And Dennis Phillips got tired too.
Dennis's sister's emotions mirror everyone here in a red cap.
I run good. I run very good.
Peter Eastgate poised for a heads-up match against Ivan
I
Demidov.
just couldn't keep folding. Had to do something.
We don't know he won yet. I'm not shaking that motherfucker's hand. I'm going to say I'm banking there's a fucking 8 and a 7 that pop out, bitch.
Phillips needed running cards, a king and a queen or an 8 and a 7 to make a straight and stay alive. The turn card, an ace. It was the final nail in the coffin for Phillips, sealing his fate and leaving him with no outs to survive. Game over. He shook hands with Eastgate and Demidov, then turned to his supporters with a smile. "Well done," someone shouted.
You know, a king, a queen, an 8 or a 7 at least gives me a shot.
That's right.
All right, any of those 4 gives me a shot.
Dennis Phillips needs running straight cards to stay alive.
Turn card is an ace, and that closes the door right there. Eastgate wins the pot, and Dennis Phillips' dreams of claiming a Poker World Championship are over.
Phillips last video? No, we got one more.
Started this final table as chip leader. He followed that dream all the way to third place. He and his supporters just lit up this poker theater.
Dennis wins over $4.5 million for third place. Well done. He said he couldn't wipe the smile off his face the last 4 months, and he's not about to lose it right now.
Now I can play golf tomorrow.
With Phillips's exit, the stage was set for the ultimate showdown. Peter Eastgate versus Ivan Demidov.
Gotta go play golf tomorrow. I feel like bro could retire, man. 4.5 mil.
Two young titans, each with a chance to make history. Eastgate, the emotionless Dane, was one step closer to becoming the youngest WSOP main event champion ever. Demidov, the Russian phenom, was on a roll after his deep run in the World Series of Poker Europe main event. The final chapter of the 2008 WSOP was about—
Are those hundreds? Wait, is that the money in cash on the fucking table? Oh my god, look at that shit. Those are $10,000 wads. Or those 20s.
SOP was about to be written, and it promised to be unforgettable. The final hand began innocently enough. Demidov, itching to seize control, opened with ace-9, a decent heads-up hand. He raised to $2 million, his signature aggression on full display. Eastgate glanced at his cards, 7-4 of diamonds. To the untrained eye, it was garbage. To Eastgate, an opportunity. He called. Eastgate knew Demidov's aggression could be weaponized against him.
Okay, this commentator needs to shut the fuck up. Because I know for a fucking fact, Eastgate sees that 7-4, and he's not going, this isn't a bad hand, this is an opportunity. In his head, he's going, I got a shit hand, I'm going to call it either way. He's going to go, I'm going to see the fucking river. Or not the river, I'm going to see the flop. You know, I'm not, what the fuck? He's not going, oh yeah, no, I got a good hand.
The flop came. 10 of diamonds, king of diamonds, 7 of clubs. For Eastgate, this
oh my god, he is a pair and he could get a fucking flush.
was a dream flop. He'd paired his 7 and picked up a flush draw. But instead of betting, Eastgate did something unexpected. He checked. Demidov, usually a predator in these spots, hesitated. Was Eastgate weak or setting a trap? Demidov checked back, a rare moment of caution. The turn, jack of diamonds, a seismic shift. Eastgate makes flush. Demidov gets useless straight draw. Eastgate bet $2.5 million. To Demidov, this screamed weakness. He's probing, Demidov must have thought. He doesn't have it. So Demidov raised to 8.
Oh wait, does he have a straight? No, he doesn't. He has ace, king, jack, 9, 10. He can't get it.
Million,
He could get a queen.
trying to bully Eastgate off the hand. But Eastgate wasn't budging. He called, keeping Demidov on the hook. The river, 3 of spades, a brick. Eastgate checked again, a move so calculated it could have been scripted. Demidov, now convinced Eastgate was weak, shoved $12 million into the pot. Eastgate snap called, revealing his flush. Demidov mucked his cards and the crowd went wild. This hand wasn't just about the chips, it was about progress. Eastgate's check call on the river was a masterstroke. By letting Demidov bluff into his monster hand, he maximized value while minimizing risk.
I feel like I'm getting good at poker. I feel like I'm getting better at poker while watching this. Like I'm learning how you should actually fucking play.
The logical impact was immediate. Demidov, known for
I'm
his
taking notes. Nah, I feel like I'm getting better at poker. Like this guy's playing the hands perfectly. Like you have a flush. Before watching this, if I had a flush on this hand, I mean, I probably wouldn't have immediately gone all in, but I would have fucking called the shit out of him. And then you would have gotten way less out of it.
unshakable focus, began second-guessing his decisions. Eastgate, meanwhile, stacked his chips with the calm precision of a surgeon. The next hand began with Eastgate holding ace-5 offsuit. He limped in for $500,000, a small bet designed to lure Demidov into the pot. Demidov, with 4-2 of hearts, checked his option. The flop came deuce-king 3. Demidov paired his deuce, while Eastgate picked up a wheel draw, needing a 4 to complete a straight. Demidov checked, and Eastgate bet $1.5 million, testing the waters. Demidov called, and the turn brought a 4, completing Eastgate's straight. Demidov, now holding 2 pair, deuces and 4s, checked. Eastgate bet $2 million, and Demidov raised to $6 million, committing half his stack.
Eastgate's gotta figure his wheel is good.
Demidov first to act.
Wow.
All in. I call.
All in and an insta call, and this is the moment. 22-year-old Peter Eastgate steps into poker history. Peter Eastgate is our 2008 main event
How much did he win? $9.8 million.
champion.
From unknown to unreal again at the World Series. Peter Eastgate, 22 years old, the youngest main event champion ever.
Ivan Demidov, what a player this guy turned out to be this year.
I couldn't be mad. I couldn't be mad. He's pissed. I think he's mad about. I think these guys are so good at poker that they're just mad about losing. Bro, you won $5.8 million. I'd be like, yeah, bro, I didn't get first. You know, shit.
Second place wins $5.8 million.
He outplayed the pros, stayed calm under pressure, and
9.1 mil.
walked away with over $9 million. It was a night no one would ever forget. But the crazy thing is, his record didn't even last a full year, because in 2009,
Yo, I really want to get into poker now. I really want to get into poker now. I really want to enter a poker tournament now. This seems so fun. I feel like I would get fucking shit on though. Don't. Then I get addicted. I get really addicted to gambling. It's just really bad. Oh my God. I feel like this would just be so cool though. I want to read the comments. King 7 Fold was better than most Eastgate's plays. He looked so chill because he was running harder than the surf of the sun. He knew there was nothing. I feel like he did have really good cards too. He took expert advantage of his luck. Oh, they're all shitting on him. When the commentator has little to no poker knowledge. Brother, I feel like I'm still learning, though. I feel like most of these people in the comments kind of shitting on somebody that won $9.1 million. You can't really get there off of luck alone. Luck can play a hand in maybe that 9-player tourney, but you're not getting through a 3-day poker tournament off of luck alone. Like, you're not going to have great hands every single play.